should never capitalize the letter I. Sorry if I'd already been over this, but it really bothers me. See, like that. Why is I capitalized but me isn't? That honestly doesn't make any sense to me. Why are some things different even though they're the same? Because everything is not different even though it's the same. Everything is the same even though it's different. You should really watch the movie I Heart Huckabees. It's really good, even though I didn't get to finish it. I hate how people write stuff that's really interesting and mind-boggling, but they do it on MySpace or some shite. They should take more advantage of their... Why isn't there spelled T-H-I-E-R? Why happened to I before E except after C? Sorry. Advantage of their skills to make people think. I, for one, think that is the greatest talent you can have. To make someone actually use their brain. There's not much else like that. Anyway, back to the thing about capitalizing the letter I. You shouldn't be conceited and consider yourself that important, even if it is just capitalizing a letter. It really doesn't matter. That's the problem with people today. You very seldomly meet someone who is totally selfless and who only think of others before themselves. I'm not saying that I am selfless. I'm not. I just wish I could be. I could probably say anything I wanted right now and no one would ever know. There's something else I want to go over. I hate when people say you shouldn't care what other people think. Fuck that. You have to care what other people think. If you truly didn't care what others thought, then you wouldn't bother doing anything, really. Well, scratch that. I can understand that people don't care what others think. That's feasible. But on the other hand, however, on second thought, you do care what you look like. Some people say they don't care what they look like. If you didn't care what you looked like, you would go out in public naked, for Christ's sake. You wouldn't bother to put on clothes at all besides protecting yourself from the weather. You wouldn't even bother to buy clothes. I always care what I look like, and I definitely care what others think. That's practically the basis of society. Some people have heard me say this before, so allow me to repeat myself. Let me give you an example. Say you have an MP3 player that's of poor value and an off-brand. It's in perfect working condition and there's not a single thing wrong with it. But you still want that iPod. You know why you want the iPod? Because everyone else has one. Your MP3 can do the job of an iPod exactly the same, if not better. But you want people to know you have the iPod. Not some crappy MP3 player made by a company no one has ever heard of. I'm not being a hypocrite by saying this. This is exactly how I feel. I don't want a piece of shite MP3 player. I want an iPod. Who doesn't want an iPod? You want people to see you with an iPod and nothing less. You want them to know that you have the class and money to buy an iPod. Don't say it's not true. You know it's true.